TV, and you are watching Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess with Gene Pietragallo, a Hollywood actor and producer who shares his life lessons about getting rid of addictions and unnecessary and useless baggage. He only asks, who says you can't? His message is, do something you've never done before, revitalize your spirit. This is Andy in the studio. You're watching Boomer TV. Join us at bloomerboomer.com and be part of this amazing community. And now, here's Gene.
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.
Andy Asher, he's the boss, the skipper, putting this whole thing together. Appreciate it. I'm really happy to be here today on Bloomer Boomer. Bloomer Boomer. Bloomer Boomer.
We're just having a good time.
TV.
Yep.
Boomer TV.
Yep.
Right, Andy?
That's it. You got it.
So I'm really happy to be here today, guys. Hopefully I can live up to just a little bit of Andy's introduction there. When he was saying a lot of that, I thought, wow, that guy sounds all right. But who am I? My name is Gene Pietragallo. This show is called Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess. So what does that mean? I'll tell you why Gene has to come clean. Because for my 61 years, I probably spent 35 of it. Geez, really bad, man. But I spent a lot of time living that life of excess, living that life that that we were taught that that's just what we did, and didn't take into consideration that some of us can't keep up with all those things in the excess lifestyle, from alcohol, drugs, pills, food. I was pretty sensitive to everything. But I can come clean to you about the things that have happened to me in my life. I can come clean to you and tell you how I made some changes, and 61 to me feels like, feels like 41, feels like a kid, feels like 31. I don't feel like an old guy. And I thought for sure at this age, I was on my way out and out to pasture, and I feel more vibrant, more productive, more available, more interesting, more ready to jump in and be of help and service, and better at everything I always wanted to do. So that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. I like that whole thing, but that comes with a price, and the price is looking at yourself in the mirror, taking a look at your shortcomings. If you took your excess way out to Excess Baggage Road, where I went, then you have to make some real big drastic changes. But this isn't just for the stumble down drunk or the closet pill taker or addiction caused by operations and painkillers that we need, but we get too many of them, and then all of a sudden we're addicted. This is for a lot of things that by the time you're a boomer, we got some habits. And we might be stagnant in those habits. We might be stuck in our ways. We might be, and let's talk about exactly where we are now. Feeling a little down, feeling a little isolated. Where we are right now is what we need to talk about, because weekends for me, especially why I like being on Friday, is weekends where we can blow off everything we put together during the week, with a lot of excess. So like I said, it doesn't matter what your excess is, but I know that the change I had to go through was because my excess became overpowering to me. I drank because I had to. I woke up every day hungover, and then I had to drink again because I had to. I woke up sick every day, sicker than I ever was, and I had to drink. I didn't set out to be that guy. I probably spent half the time of my excessive drinking days in completely aware that there was a problem that was not normal. It was not normal for what I saw with other people that drank, but I did know that drinking was what I was, myself and my friends and my peers and everybody did. It was a common denominator. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, drinking was an activity. What do you guys want to? What do you want to do today? Well, let's go drinking. And at a young period in my life, definitely by the time I was 30, and you know, with some deep soul searching, could tell you it happened that first night that I drank into a blackout when I was 16 years old at Dr. Garber's home. Dr. Garber didn't invite me; his kids did. And that was New Year's Eve, and I blacked out on grain alcohol and whatever it was. And my dear friend Marty uh, did his best, and they got me in bed before my parents got home. And I got to tell you, from then on, I didn't drink like everybody else. But when you're young, you bounce back quick, you do this and that. But by the time I was 30, I knew there was a problem. So anyway, I dealt with it quickly, and when I realized that was a problem when I was 30, I quit drinking when I was 55. So I took some time to think about it and to make sure that this was the right move for me. Uh, I'm being facetious, but along the way and through the time that I thought no one was aware of my secret, uh, and that this was a phenomenon only unique to me, uh, I was the night crawler after the party. I didn't sleep. Alcohol made me buzz me up like other drugs, and speed and other things do to people and keep them up all night. Alcohol treated me that way. Well, I took a lot of years. I waited. If I said I knew flat out, no question, at 30 or older. So there's 25 years until I made a decision and asked someone to help me. And actually, I asked someone to help me um, more like 7.5 years ago or 7 years ago, and really did not realize that no matter what in my life was there room for alcohol if I was going to be a decent person, resemble anything of the person that my parents gave me the gifts to become, the guy that I wanted to be, the father, the friend, the husband, boyfriend, all that other jazz. So I had to change a lot of things because I was shot, man. So I got the crash course in change, and it was necessary also to save my life because addiction, no matter what kind you suffer from, is deadly. And addiction out of control is a death sentence. So, but it's the things we go through when we're lonely, when we're out of sorts, when we're afraid. I mean, those are things that can let our mind wander, can make us isolate and get lazy, and even without being an addiction-free person, can put you in a bad place. Um, and without any of those addiction problems, bring on depression. You know, depression is a no-brainer and hand in hand with addiction because, in my case, uh, my drug of choice that for me was deadly was alcohol. And, so aside from the depression I already suffered naturally, I poured depressing liquid into my body every day. But you can achieve that without that liquid. You can achieve that without that drug or anything else. Just when you overload your mind with negative thoughts and isolation, the mind, it wanders. So what do we just find out in our world is, I don't care who you're voting for. I really don't. It's out of my hands. I think that, without being political, and I'm not, it's just a complete shit show that we're living in. Here I am, and I'm in beautiful Palm Springs, California. The weather's about to break. Monday will be in the 70s, but boom, right before the election, we were open. Things are going great. Today's Friday. Today we must go back to no indoor seating, no houses of worship, no movies. We're shut down again. We're shut down again. So, what I'm talking about now is popular. and it's popular because of the things I just said and the things going on in the world, and we're all insecure about everything. Um, we're all suffering. We're all walking around with some, in type of impending doom. I mean, all you have to do is watch the news to do that. So for that, we got to make a conscious decision to know that aside from our vote, we all got to vote. You want to complain, you want to do anything, we got to vote and show up and do that. But aside from that, we can't change anything from our couch. We can't change anything by avoiding our life because we become addicted to CNN, or we become addicted to our computer or our phone, because we're not going to change anything. That world is out of our control. The only thing that's in our control right now are the waking 24 hours we have. So when we get to talk, I like to talk about what you can do to bring the color back into your life and bring positive thoughts back in, and bring the joy back. And it really is possible. I'm a pretty positive guy, and I'm a pretty happy guy. And one thing, whether I say it or not, is, if I'm in a grocery store, if I'm anywhere, I'm either singing or I'm whistling. And I'm a pretty good whistler, and that's a singer. But people will say, and it's my attitude, and they'll go, "Well, boy, you're happy." And whether I'm bugging them or they're just like, "Wow, there's a happy guy." But I always, in my mind, as I said, say it, or I say it out loud, and I say, yeah, it takes a little work. It takes a little work to be like this. So, we have the power to change ourselves, no matter how buried we feel, And so now we're coming up on, like Joe said last night, on the big darkness. We're coming into the dark winter. That's enough and the time change next week, to depress you. So there you go again. I like to paint that terrible, terrible, terrible picture, because there's hope. There really is, you guys. I was hopeless. I was completely hopeless. I thought I threw away my life, my opportunities, my career. It was over, man. And I thought that in my 40s and 50s, and now I feel like that thinking that way is just foreign to me. There's anything is possible, and anything's possible as long as we're alive, as long as we're breathing, and as long as we're healthy enough to participate and walk around. Then let's live life to our fullest. It's like when it comes to aging, my favorite, one of my favorite poems, and we talk about it here, is from Dylan Thomas. And Dylan Thomas, what I think is apropos for aging, says, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage. Old age should rage. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rage at the end of the day. Old age should burn and rage at the end of the day. Think about it, man. That's cool. Rage, rage, rage against the dying of the light. So to me, you can tell how well I memorized that and recited it for you. But to me, what that means is this life is so special. Live it till the light goes out, man. And it means being involved. It means being a part of your life. It means getting out of your own way. And getting out of your own way means do something nice for each other. Actually, if you do something for 30 days, it's a habit. And if you really can get yourself to wake up in the morning and think about someone else and what you could do for them, or what little thing you could do better for them, you find that just naturally, that's like fresh air. It's like vitamins for your soul. Helping someone else helps you. And, that can become a habit. We can change our old habits and affect new ones. My excesses have affected me in every single way you could possibly think. And I didn't, I did not set out to be able to tell you that that is what happened. Okay. Um, Food, I weigh 100 pounds less than I used to weigh. And, you know, when you're of the height and stockiness that I am, walking around at 270, I think it was 268, is number one, uncomfortable. Number two, hard to get dressed. number three, an exposure to the things that happen in excess, whatever it is for you, is, and then also people make fun of you when you're overweight. People are cruel to people who are overweight. People are cruel to alcoholics. People are cruel to drug addicts. Sometimes people are cruel to homeless people. Sometimes people are cruel to people that are just having some mental issues or depression, and just because maybe they make them uncomfortable and they're mean to them. But I sure was, and it came upon me so quickly, as did my addictions. One with my weight was that I didn't know who they were talking about at first. I did not know that there was not one thing in the Macy's big rack that fit around my butt, fit around my fat ass. That is a depressing moment. You're in that dressing room alone and you're thinking, this is, there's nothing that fits me here. And I got there from being a healthy young guy and an ego and a guy that was always in shape and wanted to be in shape, I'm an actor, as Andy said, and then when I was young, I played a boxer. I played this, I've done that. I've been, I didn't play the fat cop. I played the fit cop. I had to change that or I was going to die. I had to change it or I was going to die. And I couldn't change that unless I changed my drinking habit, because I was probably drinking 2/5 of booze a day. So I know about excess. But now, here's what this does for us. We're at the time, no matter where we live, you can open your windows and get some fresh air, and start getting involved with other people, get involved in your life. We have to find ways to bring ourselves up, because right now the world we're living in isn't going to do that for us. I can tell you that I'm going to be creative and stay up and do what I can for my mood and my attitude, because I know for dang sure when we're sitting here on the 23rd of October, nothing's going to change until at least after Election Day, in terms of all the pandemic, the closures, the this, the that. So I've already tried it the other way, and it's pretty depressing. So I have to get on with life. Be careful. Be careful with the COVID. We had a COVID scare. You went, we got a test. Everybody was negative, thank God. There was a young baby. We know that they even got the COVID and the grandma and the family. You know what? Everybody's fine. But we talked about that on one of our shows, and when it hits close to home, it's very sobering, if you will. Oh yeah, the COVID, and we've all heard people tell you that they think it's a hoax, or it's this or it's that, and you don't know anybody that has it, do you? You know anybody that died from it? Well, I think more and more now, a lot of us do. And so when someone really close to our world, my family's world, got it, hit home. All of a sudden, found myself sitting around going, "What if am I going to get COVID?" And of course, I'm paranoid and easily depressed. So I was already, I was buried and gone from COVID. So our heads run away with that. The point is that for me, when I took away the things I depended upon, and if you're at home and you're dependent upon graham crackers and peanut butter, or I'm going to tell you all the things that I like, but a lot of ice cream, or say you like to have some, you know, I forgot, but I'll tell you in a second. Something else I really like. But in other words, you don't need to eat the whole half gallon of ice cream. You don't need to do all those things. We need to slow down and take care of ourselves. It's really easy now. A lot of people are doing it. They're gaining a lot of weight. You know, get off there, get on, start off walking, start off moving, start off doing something different. I don't care if different means you're gonna just turn off the TV and put on some music, put on your whatever speaker you have, Bluetooth thing, do something, you know, do something different. Uh, I know that I still think the other shoe is going to drop, and I'm, caught up in all the drama of the world right now. But I also know that when I told myself I can't watch the news every day and find other positive things to do, or force myself, as we do sometimes, to go do my specific workout that I do or whatever, we always feel better afterwards, you know? Um, at first this is more of a monologue and you get to talk to people, kind of stream of consciousness. I get to talk to you about what I've been through, how I was affected. Um, and my thing is the extreme of it. And also what I want to say is the reason why I'm really sensitive to it is I I don't think I learned anything by taking it as far as the disease of alcoholism took me. That wasn't really necessary for me to go through all that to find the peace I have now and the happiness, or just how's this, the hopefulness of it all. Some days are, you know, bag of rocks. But anyway, I didn't have to do that. So this isn't about, Otis from Andy Griffith or Fall Down Drunks and all that other jazz. There's a lot of us that are drinking half a dozen drinks at night, and we only used to have two. There's what alcohol sales are up. As I said, I'm not a professional or a stat maker or any of this, but they're through the roof, alcohol sales. Suicides, depression, the medication for depressions. It's staggering, like really, really, really staggering. I live in, because of my excess, I live in recovery. I cannot go back to my old vices. If I go back to my old vices, I'm right back in the death chair, the electric chair, and I don't want to be there. But there's something really interesting about having to do something and be disciplined about something, giving yourself some goals to meet. It makes your self-worth go up. I always thought I needed to get sober. So once again, like I said, my vice, whatever yours is there, maybe you are obsessed with, cutting, designs into your lawn so they can be seen from your drone and you can send them to people. I'm just seeing if you're listening, if you're creating your own signs thing. But anyway, it can be whatever your thing is, but for me, it became a point of my excesses blossomed into something that doesn't go away, right? So, I can keep my alcoholism, which is my cancer, in remission. And, in your cancer, you got to treat it every day with medication or do exactly or follow the rules. And, in my case, I have to follow one huge rule, is that I don't drink because I'm allergic to it mentally and physically. And it does not affect me the way it affects other people. Yet the addiction that I have is sold on every street corner. I can get it delivered here. I can, whatever. I can go outside and find someone and ask them to run to the store for me. So, it's amazing what rabbit holes we can fall down, right? How many of us now are at the age when we see our friends from high school here or there, or the people we worked with a while ago, and there's so much change that really isn't that positive in their life because they got sedentary, because they get stuck in their ways. Because if I make that change in my relationship, my work, my excessive habits or anything, I don't want to go through that change. Because through that change, that number one, I got to get off the couch. It's going to take some action for me to make this change happen. I might get some feedback from someone that doesn't like the way I'm changing, so you got to be responsible when you change. But as soon as you even make an attempt to change, you feel like you got something back in your life, like control, a little bit of control, when you get yourself feeling well, and I mean, I didn't make it up, you feel well because you're in a position that you can do things for other people. You're not so caught up in woe is me and where's my life going to go, every day I think less and less about the opportunities I've missed and more about the opportunities that are to come. That's pretty cool, right? So I didn't say that I changed and I have the world by the tail, but slowly and methodically, with a discipline, with a schedule, with regularity, which all those things go out the window when you decide or embrace that life of excess. They're gone. So you got to retrain yourself. You got to, you got to work at it. Does it get easier? Sure. As long as I do what's set in front of me every day. So I live in recovery. I'm not selling you on any kind of recovery. I am not advertising for recovery. That was necessary for me. That was necessary. And for me, I believe it was as necessary as, my surgeon was for my knee replacement, as a cancer doctor is, as anybody that's there to work with your body, addiction on the levels of opioids and alcohol and, or be it food, there are addictions on two levels. It's physical and mental. So you got the double bang going on there. You need to learn to realize that you're not the center of the universe. And in doing so, there's a calm that comes to you, but also it's engaging. You want to help people, and I never thought about helping people before. The discipline of staying sober for the amount of time I have is nothing compared to other people. Compared to the schedule I was on, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here today. There was no way that I even had much time left at the rate I drank. When I feel like I'm telling you guys about addiction and the terrible outcomes it has and the how it ruins families and this and that, and I start thinking, man, it's such a downer, but it's like the thing you don't want to talk about, but now how many people and families is it touching? We're going back to, and I understand, if I did not get sober before this pandemic happened, the pandemic would have killed me. Okay. What a perfect time to say, hey, this place is, look what is going on. We should all get drunk. And, it was never hard for me to find people to join me. We know how to find each other. So I have to be aware when I'm thinking I'm talking about something that is foreign to people. And it's like, what is he talking about? That now more than ever, it's getting talked about a little more. People that are alcoholics are not weird people or zombies or people that are going to come in your house and steal your silverware or sneak into your booze cabinet when you're not there. It's really not like any of the movies you've seen. I tried. I made a movie about alcoholism and its effects and what it did to one man, but and there's been some great movies, and there's been, like Jack Lemmon's film was amazing, but they're caricatures because you almost can't make a movie that's can be as real as the suffering, as the hurt, as the pain an addict feels, no matter what kind of addict you are. And if you are someone that is addiction free, it seems, really easy. One thing I used to hear all the time was, well, why don't you quit? Well, you can't. So in talking to you now about being positive this weekend, let's not blow it this weekend. Let's not eat too much. I tend to go off on food because I'm like, well, that's not going to kill me, and then I'm very disciplined. And over the weekend, I can gain, 8 pounds because, well, heck, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I can eat cake. I can do this, and then, I realized that, okay, I'm just shifting that addiction and I don't really feel good because I'm going to get fat again. Anyway, don't go off whatever you're trying to do that's positive this weekend because it's a weekend. Don't go off it because they're closing your bars. Don't go off it because we can't go to the movies or church or anything else. Do something. Pick up the phone this weekend. Call somebody. Call somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. All right. I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to do that this weekend. I'm going to call someone in my family that I haven't talked to in a long time. And if as we grow our audience here every week, and I'm lucky enough that you join me next week, I'll let you know what happens when I call someone I haven't talked to in a long time. And the person I'm thinking about in particular is not a person, they might have been exposed to it, that suffers from any of the addictions that I'm talking to you about. So do something positive. Let's do that and talk about it next week. There's some neat shows coming up. We were going to pull off a guest today. He's just been a little busy. You'll know who he is. He's in the news. Was recently with an anniversary, a special anniversary. I'll just tease you with that. I'm pretty sure I can get him next week. And I just want you to know that it's really a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be able to slow it down and let anybody that's even listening know that as low as you think you could be, there's a way out. There's a way out. And people aren't as judgmental as you think. There are people that would be so happy to help you. And that's the Addicts Credo. We got to carry it on. We got to carry on the message. Being able to get sober just the same way someone can be, their affliction lifted is a miracle from God. It's not just a physical miracle. It's a miracle. A lot of us don't make it. So if we're here and we're breathing, and if you're watching this, then maybe you're curious about changing your life a little bit, then like I said, pick up the phone this weekend. Think really, really, really hard about the Steelers winning on Sunday. No, I'm just kidding. But you're welcome to. I'm not asking you to send me money or anything like Soupy Sales. I'm just saying, while you're thinking positive things and you're reaching out to someone that you haven't talked to in a little bit, for me, I wish the Steelers good luck. But I think that Andy might have some questions for us now. I think that it's a serious time, you guys. Keep your heads up. What a better time to do things positive for yourself when the world's kind of standing still waiting for different things to happen in their outcome. So while that happens, let's get ourselves in shape. Let's get ourselves feeling better. Let's do some positive things. All right. You call somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time that you think about, but you just never do it. And I promise you'll feel better. And we'll talk about that next week. Andy, are you?
Yeah, Gene, I'll tell you, you just hit on so many really, really great things, and they apply to everybody, no matter what their condition. And actually, you talked a little bit about what Peter asked about, and basically he says, does it get any easier? But he says he's he's been sober now for a year and a half, and he's just kind of wondering if you ever got to a point where, staying sober got any easier.
No, I mean, staying sober is now with me for my life. The goal, I believe, of the tried and true alcoholic that is blessed to stay recovered is to die sober. So does it get easier? Sure. You know why? Because of the benefits, because of all the things you get back. You get your mom back, you get your kids back, you get the girl, you get the dogs, you get you get a lot of neat things when you change your life for the better. So does it get easier? Yeah, in that way it does. But I know that I listened to someone, and I appreciate the message he has. And he says, the longer I'm sober, the more I realize what an alcoholic I am. But we realize it in a different way and with a mature outlook, and how that's just who we are. It's just a part of it. We're just a part of us, of any of us, presidents, lawyers, Indian chiefs, you name it, throughout history and now. They suffer from the same things we all do at home. So it'll get easier. Time in sobriety lessens things. The further you are away from that last drink, the safer you are. But you always got to stay pretty conscious of what hurts you, what ails you. And what hurts you is alcohol, if you're an alcoholic. And Peter is.
Hey, Gene, this one is kind of a question I think we get a lot. It's Dorothy wants to know the best place to get help.
I did a lot of different things through the years. Dorothy, the first thing you need to do to get help is tell somebody close to you, ask somebody for help, no matter who it is. I don't care if you pick up, the phone and call, an addiction hotline of any kind. If you're looking for, recovery home or a program or all that, I'm not affiliated with any. I can tell you that I went to one 20 years ago. It's part of why I'm sober today, but obviously it didn't keep me sober, but it was enlightening and it was a wonderful thing. Maybe I would just, I wasn't ready. But the answer is, ask for help. And there's so many ways to go. If you think you need to go to recovery because it's going that far and you need the discipline and you need the medical attention, you don't want to just go off and quit bad habits if you're that soaked with booze, get help. But whether it's a recovery program or you're a church or great friends or, find a way. For me, I found 12-step program. That 12-step program is seems to be always available 24/7. And, that's where I find some solace. Thanks.
Well, Gene, great show. And let's see. So next week, we're going to hear about your phone call, among other things, I guess, huh?
I know who I'm calling. Do you want to call somebody, Andy?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll call someone. Yeah.
See, okay. So then I'm going to ask you. That'll get us going.
All right.
So we already know. Okay. I know who I'm calling. I'll tell you all about it next week. But I haven't talked to this person, and I'd probably procrastinate about it every month. Half of, crosses my mind half the days of every month, and I never do it. So I'm going to do that. You do it too. And
yeah, we'll share notes.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they don't want to talk to me.
It's always that possibility.
Hey, you know what? I don't know. I know we're getting ready to sign off. I want everybody to have really a good weekend. Be nice to yourselves, okay? Turn off the damn news. Put on some music. Whatever it is you like. Do something silly. And remember that you have the ability to be happy as Boomer.
Boomer is so.
Now, does Boomer look like he's stressed about anything?
No, he just is in a good life.
Boomer's not stressed, man. So,
good old Boomer.
All right. So Boomer says bye.
He's a happy guy. Hey, Gene.
Andy, thanks for letting us be here.
Absolutely.
You know, you got go out and make yourself feel good. And I'm telling you, there's a boomer out there for you in your life too. So everybody have a great weekend.
Love it. Okay, thanks, Gene. Have a good one.
Thanks,
You too.
Andy.
Bye-bye. All right.
Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Gene. Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess. And join him every week at bloomerboomer.com and be part of this amazing community of folks